Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm eating Greek yogurt, almond butter, frozen blueberries. And no, I'm not interested in your recommendations on what to add, guys. I'm not interested in making my food taste so good that I'm hungry all the time. So please keep that to yourself. All right, let's talk about machines. I have in the past been very much against the leg press, and by the way, I still hate the leg press. So I don't want people to think that my emotional hatred of the leg press is in any way removed. And I'll get to why I dislike it in a minute. But if we come to the topic of actual machines as squat accessories, I don't have a problem with that. I prescribe them myself. I have a client right now who does a leg press as a squat accessory. I have one, but I do have one. And what people have to remember, I went through a phase a number of years ago in the middle of being on YouTube where I kind of went through a minimalism phase. I was probably too largely influenced by people like crypto and others. And eventually I came to realize that my older ideas were right. The things that I had said when I first started on YouTube, that was the much better direction than going in the direction of some of these people. I returned to my roots, went back to conjugate type training. It's been vastly successful for coaching, vastly successful with my clients and with me. I am a lot stronger now in my 40s than I was even in my late 30s, right, when I was over in the UK. I'm even stronger now, and a hell of a lot stronger than when I went through my minimalism phase. I didn't really get stronger during my minimalism phase. None of my lifts that I hit at any point in there were heavier than what I hit running other stuff before when I was living abroad. I don't think I got a single PR. Not one. So there were some flawed ideas in those middle years in here on this channel. And I've taken a lot of that back. Taken a lot of it back because we have to. Minimalism itself is a flawed concept. And I'm not saying we should all be on machines all the time, but machines can have their place. They can have their place for hypertrophy. They can have their place for variety. And our supplemental work, we just shouldn't be living on machines. And the leg press shouldn't be the primary thing that you use to build your squat, that's for sure. It shouldn't be the primary tool you use to get stronger. But it's a useful tool, and this could apply to any of the leg machines. So I'll state up front my problem with the leg press, and then I'll tell you why it's still a useful tool, why it can still be used, and it can still be used to build champions. My problem with the leg press is it's a show-off lift. It's a lift to where people will half-ass it, or they'll show off and think that they're really strong. And I get people who argue with me on this, but I'm like, guys, I used to do knees to chest, deep leg presses with ridiculous amounts of weight. So when someone comes and tells me 800 pounds for 10 reps on a leg press, full range of motion is strong, it's not. And I even had one of the other coaches tell me, or there's a guy who squats 800 pounds and he does work sets with 850. Well, then he's wasting his time. He's probably not getting anything out of that machine. I'll be honest, I hope, unless you mean one leg, he's doing it with one leg, yeah, that's going to be impressive. But using both legs, it's not. He needs to put another 500 or 600 pounds on there. He needs to put another 800 pounds on there. He could do it. He would have no trouble doing it for full range of motion, for work sets. That's the problem, is that once you're strong, you have to stack a ton of weight on the leg press. And people who get a mental hang up of, man, that's a lot of weight, so it feels heavy to them, and they've got 600 pounds on the leg press, and they're grinding through sets of 10, but it's like, it's a guy with some leg development. That's not hard. It's only hard because they're seeing all those plates, and it creates a psychological hang up. They are physically capable of doing a lot more weight. So it can be limiting in that regard. Number two, it's one of those where guys think they're strong and they try to show off. It's a showboat lift. Everyone in the gym's looking because that guy's got 800 pounds on the leg press and he's repping it. I'll be honest, that's not that impressive on that machine though. It really isn't. That's not a mark that you're a really strong guy. That means you probably squat 400 pounds, right? You put 800 pounds on the leg press and do 10 reps, you're probably a 405 squatter. You're not super strong. Not bad. So the point here is that we have that issue. We have number two, it is a pain in the ass to load and unload that many plates. It really and truly is a pain, all right? It's a pain. It's frustrating. It's a lot of work into being more conditioning when you're in the middle trying to do your leg work. It takes a lot of time out of your workout. Now, if you got the time and you want the conditioning, that's not a bad thing. Things like that. Number two, sometimes for some people it can be hard on their back. And I had a regular bring that up the other day on the Facebook fitness page. You've said in the past it can be bad for your back. Well, it can. Depending upon the angles, and if the leg press hurts your back, you're going to need to get rid of it. Don't use it then. And that's my solution to that, rather than harp on the fact that, yes, it does hurt some people's backs, all right, especially when they go deep. Okay, well, don't do it. But as far as these machines go, as far as effectiveness as tools, they're fine. Why? They build the lower body. What makes you strong at a squat? Your muscle mass, right? How much muscle you have. So it's going to determine your strength potential on a squat. What muscles move the weight? What are our primary movers? Adductors and glutes first, then quads close behind them. Okay? When we look at hypertrophy studies on a full squat, what gets the most hypertrophy? Glutes, adductors, and then quads behind them. So anything that makes those strong and bigger, anything that makes your glutes, adductors, and quads grow is going to increase your squat potential. Can a leg press or a hack squat machine or any of those machines do that? Of course they can. Of course they can. What else do you need for a squat? You need back strength. It's probably one of the best tools to build your low back strength that exists. People are going to say good mornings, hypers. Well, no, those are all good. Reverse hypers, that's a machine too. So technically, if a person were so inclined, could they build a very large amount of their squat potential and the muscle for their squats off of those machines? Could they leg press and reverse hyper and build their squat? Objectively speaking, I'm going to have to say yes. Could they build a really big squat doing that? Yeah, they could. Could a person run conjugate and do nothing but box work, box maxes, and speed work on the squat, and then use those machines to build those muscles and build an impressive squat? Could they do that? Yes. Do I think they should limit themselves to only those tools to do it? No. No. Are those tools necessary to do it? No. You could do split squats and get everything you'd possibly get out of a leg press. Here's our issue. Some lifters aren't in good enough shape to do single leg exercises, right? They're not in shape. They don't have the conditioning. Do 10 reps per leg. Well, in that case, they might need that. Actually, all that carrying the plates on and off of a leg press might actually benefit that person at that point, right? And that's, by the way, who gets leg presses. When I get lifters who they can't handle any more volume on box squatting, later novices and things, but they're still not in shape, I can't give them a bunch of single leg exercises. And if they're at a big commercial gym with a leg press, I'll put them on a leg press after their box squat. Sure, I do it. I don't have a problem with it. I'd much rather they do single leg exercises, but the leg press, hack squat machine, they'll get it done. I don't have a problem with that. Can't be so dogmatic, guys. These things are all just tools. But what I have a problem with is a guy putting 800 pounds on a leg press and pretending he's strong. Okay, you're not. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.